Oh,
Right, shall we start?
yeah.
With a happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to George.
to you. Happy
George.
Happy birthday, George. Happy birthday to George.
Happy.
George.
George.
Oh,
I don't know.
we now know why we
We're
were.
not good at harmony, are we?
Not really.
Bunch
It's very
of puppets
difficult
who
to
just wanna
sing
do
en
their
masse
own
on
stuff.
Zoom.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't, yeah.
We now know why we're poets and not singers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Steve. Oh, he's still connecting.
Why is he coming up as Lorraine?
Right now, how do I
It's Lorraine's computer.
score up?
Ah, he doesn't look like a Lorraine.
It's
I
his
don't know.
His secret life on the Isle of Wight.
Hello, Lorraine.
It's nearly the weekend. Maybe he's Lorraine at the weekends.
Thanks, everyone.
Right. Oh, the guest, Steve. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Oh, I've got
Happy
you all now. That's it. I'm a happy bunny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of you. Who's the 8th one?
Where's the 8th one?
Yeah.
7 of us.
It's a blank space. It's a black space either side of Steve.
That's 9 then.
Oh, so it is.
Right. I'm going to start off. Norman can't be here tonight because he's got COVID, but he sent me a poem to read for him. So it says, do you remember? Do you remember the Lucasade bottle wrapped in orange cellophane, administered during recovery of chickenpox and pain? Do you remember when you first skinned your knees on the unforgiving tarmac school playground, where the boys played football, kicked and bruised, and the girls swung skipping ropes round and round? Do you remember when you ate buttered cold toast during school playtime, whilst the wealthy children unpacked their Tupperware? They would find a ham sandwich and a bag of crisps at least, accompanied by a club biscuit or a Kit Kat, a chocolate feast. Do you remember sharing comics with your sister along with a bag of Maltesers? Reluctantly, it has to be said. You pushed her at speed around the lawn in her doll's pram, bouncing up and down to your mother's dread. Do you remember playing football in winter, wearing your cousin's hand-me-down heavy boots? They looked and felt like Navi's footwear, yet somehow you scored goals without a care. Do you remember flying your kite against the North Sea winds, being buffeted, almost lifting you off your feet, with rosy cheeks and chilled-out ears? You ran across the cliff top with no fears. Do you remember your very first bike ride, and how you wobbled down the country lane with freedom at last to travel at a pace life would never be the same again? Do you remember your family cat having kittens in the store, bundles of fur with eyes still closed? She carried them individually into the barn and hid them amongst some hay bales stacked on the floor. Do you remember going to the pantomime, sitting in the front stalls all primed, listening to the colourful characters sing their songs, delivering family jokes expertly timed? Do you remember setting sail for Cub Camp when only 10 years old, and writing on your postcards to family back home how you'd been seasick umpteen times and shivery cold? Do you remember digging for worms and fishing on the River Dee, being taught how to cast your line and hold the fishing rod in running water above your knee, and be at one with nature, totally free? Do you remember buying boiling sweets in paper bags from the old sweet shop down the cobbled lane? Strips of licorice, both black and red, were also bagged with multicoloured candy cane. Do you remember when you first heard Whiter Shade of Pale on the jukebox in your favourite beach boulevard restaurant? You could feel it in the air that times were changing. You had a naive innocence, open to future change large scale. Do you remember where you walked the cliff path in Sorrento? The air was humid and the stars were bright. The Virgin Mary looked down upon you from her rocky enclave, all aglow. Do you remember when teacher read Robert Frost in class, and how you jumped off the school bus to tell your mum at last you found a passion for writing poetry and prose. Sometimes a challenge, but today it still flows. Do you remember?
That's lovely.
It's very lovely. I remember the challenge. I'm living it right now.
Vivian, do you want to go next?
Yes, sure. I've got 3 of my own. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes, okay. They're all sort of nature type poems. George, I think, would like them if he were here. The first one, excuse me. The first one is called Thank You Clouds. Fluffy white clouds like cotton wool blow across the sky like sailing ships on the sea. Flying on top of a carpet of clouds, thousands of feet up, feel that you're on top of the world. With bright sunshine in abundance, you can only see skies of grey, which bring rain and snow, occlude the brightness above, make the earth a gloomy place, this heavy blanket weighing us down, cumulus, stratus, nimbus, sometimes no clouds at all, clear blue skies for miles, like the skies had a wash. Majestic, misty clouds do far more than just make the earth look pretty. Give us our weather, protect us from extremes of climate. Thank you for being here.
Right.
First one. My second one is called, I've got 2 titles. I've got Half Light and I've got A Relief of Sorts. So pick what you like. In the half light, buildings change their colour, become monochrome before fading to black. You wouldn't even know they were there, except for lights shining from their interiors, outlining their shape, silhouettes in the dark, are like strangers if you don't know who or what they are. Getting darker, the nights close in around you, isolating you in a bubble. Getting slowly lighter at dawn, everything returns to colour, a relief of sorts. And the last one, sorry, somebody say something.
Okay, I said, yeah, great.
All right, okay, it's all right. And my last one is I've got an interest in one of a side interest is in astronomy, and this is a poem about black holes, and I've called it Black Holes. They are in disguise, exist to swallow odd socks, car keys, and glasses. They disappear inwards, never to be seen again, swallowed up by an unseen entity. Masquerade as cushions on a sofa, pockets or washing machines where your possessions go. Very occasionally, the said items will reveal themselves again, usually when you are doing something different or looking for something else. But like its namesake, black holes pull gravity inwards to a singularity where not even light can escape. So maybe they are not just in space, but hiding in plain sight. Now, where did I put my glasses? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vivian.
All right, no worries.
Nick, you're under Vivian on my screen. Do you want to go next?
Okay. I'm not under Vivian on my screen. What's a pity. This is called Lake Dwelling, and it was based on a time team program, which was about a Scottish bit of archaeology where they had cranogs, which are basically stilted dwellings that sit out on the lake, because the Scots are very, very sociable and friendly, and some of them will come round unexpected, like. So they had to build their houses in the lake in order to have a little connection through, so they could not be surprised by their visiting comrades. This is Lake Dwelling. Under lock and key, the divers crowd to seek the treasures buried there beneath the Scottish waters cold, are wooden timbers free from rot in buried, oxygen-depleted depths. An Iron-Age crannog waits for them, for those with wit and expertise, to leak downwards into the past beneath the wooden jetty built to house the pumps and diving gear, while the diving team are busy here sifting through the silt below, unravelling lines into the Iron Age. They fly above the upper floor, recording every timber moved that had lain for 2 millennia. Hazel hurdles, interwoven traces that once divided dwelling spaces. Tooth marks in a hazel shell long ago discarded in the lake beside this northern stilt-built home, collapsed, abandoned and rebuilt with sturdy piles and supporting stones for weatherproofed, defended homes, still holding secrets of vanished lives kept locked within these many years. I was very pleased with the first line because lock and key, of course, are spelt LOCH and QUAY, which is just delightful for me. I'm pleased with such things. Well, I had a little death in the family earlier this week. So this is a eulogy for a guinea pig. My pet Thor died last night and hung up his little hammer, glided across the rainbow bridge to live among the Asgard gods, left Loki still nibbling on his kale, but seeming somehow sadder. Clearly, Brunhilde took my hog away to fight at Ragnarok and play with all warrior pigs that went before. We remember the fallen mighty Thor. Loki lingers for a while, up to mischief every day. His antics give me pause to smile, even when the skies are grey. Guinea pigs are here and gone, their memories like a little song that catches on the human ear, along with all that we hold dear.
Did you have a funeral for your Thor?
No.
Oh, shame.
I should have really taken him down to Kelsey Lake, put him on a little boat, pushed it out and set fire to it as it went into over the horizon. But
that would have been really cool.
It would have been really cool, but the park keepers can be a bit funny sometimes. So I don't know if maybe that wouldn't have
Well, I'm sure they'd understand. I mean, if you told them you have a
yeah. Anyway, this one is a little poem about a previous pet. And it's called Waterboarding the Snake. She is not used to running water, although every day her body flows. Scales that glisten in the sun gleam now through the falling water. Banana yellow, chocolate brown, her muscles curled around my arm, scenting blood she is locked on. I'm in no jeopardy, for she has not learned to size her food. My intention is only to persuade, and in choosing preservation over prey, she withdraws her fangs and lets me go. It's the correct way to get rid of a snake that has bitten into you is apparently to hold them under running water, because it encourages them to let go without causing any damage to her fangs or more damage to my arm. Come to that.
I'll bear that in mind.
yes, it's an education to come to this Zoom.
And I like to help.
Thank you.
Yeah. Second thoughts, maybe don't let your daughter persuade you that what she really needs in life is a pet snake. Or at least don't handle it when you've been to the dentist and you've had a tooth out and there's the smell of blood around. That was probably where I went completely wrong.
Right. We will bear that in mind forevermore. Jim, do you want to go next? But you're
You are
muted.
muted.
Yeah, you can hear me now.
Yes.
Yeah. The mute thing works, but if I wanted to sort of get rid of my face or something like that, it doesn't work. And also, it doesn't matter whether I've got the mute on, mute. Yeah, it only mutes myself. I don't mute anything else. Yeah. Oh, anyhow.
Why would you want to get rid of your face?
Yeah.
We'd love
Well,
seeing it.
well, it's probably better than my voice, because what I'm going to do now. Sorry. I'm going to sing. That's a threat. I have to take these things out, otherwise. Yeah, this is called Beating Hearts. Right. Now I can't sing, so I'm basically intoning it. She was a singer in a local band. She had charisma, people eating out of her hand. She said she liked my sense of humor. Oh, and would I like to be her man? Would I like to be her? Would I like to be her? Would I like to be her man? Da 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 da. But there were problems. I saw that from the very start. She fed my habit. I said that we would never part, and she would always lie beside me as I listened to a beating heart. Listen to a beating, listen to a beating, listen to a beating heart. But then she dropped me like a stone in a well. It was outrageous. She made my life a living hell. One night I lost my sense of humor, ended up inside a prison cell. Up inside a prison, up inside a prison, up inside a prison cell. Now I'm with jokers in a world where there are only men. They think I'm funny, a funny man with funny tales to tell. They say one day I'll meet my angel, and I will make her laugh in hell. I will make her laugh, I will make her laugh, I will make her laugh in hell. She was my angel. I see her shining like a star. She looks amazing. I said that we would never part. Now she will always lie beside me as she listens to my beating heart. Listens to my beating, listens to my beating, listens to my beating heart. Listens to my beating, listens to my beating, listens to my beating heart. Yeah, that's it. I missed out the last verse. There's something actually extra. I've not got the right sort of thing here.
You want to give us something else?
Sorry.
You want to give us something else, Jim?
Yeah, something else. Yeah. Okay. Watching some old movie. I wish I was as happy now as I once used to be. You and me in a darkened room, watching some old movie. You clapped to see some cowboys ride across a swollen river. The world was always black and white when we were still together. I thought our love would never die, for love should last forever. But you went on your separate way and crossed that swollen river. And as the years went rolling by, I thought you'd phone or write. And I often dreamt I saw your face in the small hours of the night. When you lay on that hospice bed, you couldn't even raise your head. We talked about the times we'd had, the good, the average, and the bad. This life is like a passing dream, but memories last forever. So we still see those cowboys ride across that swollen river. I wish I was as happy now as I once used to be. You and me in a darkened room, watching some old movie. That's sort of based on I was a tenant, so she was my landlady. Yeah.
Yes. Anything else you want to give us, Jim?
Sorry?
This round, anything else, Jim, you'd like to share on this round?
Not at the moment. Maybe after the interval or whatever.
Okay. Ted, you want to go next? If you unmute yourself.
Yeah, he's muted. You're muted, Ted. You're muted. He's not aware.
Yeah, I'm there. Got it?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
I love all this. I thought I wasn't muted.
You
Yeah, because Vivian said, "Oh, someone said something." Well, I'm the one that said it. Well, apparently you've just told me I've been muted.
I don't think you're ever muted. You're just mute, Ted.
Something like that. Anyway, Portland Mary has been waiting for us to read the poem about her. Mary flits between small tables, serving locals with their meals. They all see that she is able, never knowing how she feels. Mary's face reflects a story of troubled times before. Working, she is in her glory. Boy, to Alden's at the door. Checker blue is her wool skirt, hugging round her hips petite. Blues in Egypt on her t-shirt match her eyes, her face so neat. Smiling gently, come what may, while serving meat with peas. Nice to see you, come on Friday. And she'll be on her aching knees there. Thank you. I can't hear you clapping. Yeah.
The sound of muted clapping, Ted.
That'll do. Right, here we go. There used to be a publisher called run a magazine called First Time down in Hastings, and she had her mailing list stolen. And out of the blue, you'll see what happened. Thank you for your invitation received by me with glee. It arrived most unexpected, signed by James F. Lee. You say you'd like a single poem for your anthology, clearly typed on paper with double-spaced copy. Should not exceed the stated lines 24 for free, and first time writes with compliments from me. Manuscripts are not returned without an essay. You ask for this creation, yet offer no gratuity to me from you in St. Leonard's on the Sea. I don't begrudge this oversight, the lack of royalty. So I've composed iambics mixed in with some trochee, original and individual, with love to you from me, T. There you go. I think that the printer nicked her mailing list when he was supposed to be sending her magazine out to all those people. And he thought he'd try and run a magazine himself. Whether he did or not, don't know. Right. That's a bit miserable. One did something about, one of you did something about watching old films. This is also in Hastings. It's called Movie Shop. He laughed as he asked for a photograph of Nelson Eddy and Jeanette MacDonald. He showed her 4. He was nonchalant, looked at her with regard as he poured through more and saw the black and white faces of Peter Lorre, Veronica Leigh, and was this Jason Robards? Was it he or John Hanson who played the Red Shadow? In doubt of an out-of-date film or on a videotape, he remarked, You've been here before. Who are the stars? It's my dad, she said. He made notes in his stock. She in her woolly hat, looking her 1920s look. There you go.
Bravo.
Thank
I
you, Ted.
think someone else should have a go. Right.
Sue, do you want to go next?
Yeah, lovely. I've got 3 poems, if that's okay. The first one is called North, and if anyone is a northerner, this is not directed about northerners, but it's just the concept of north. I just thought I'd say that so I don't upset anybody. North is the southern antidote. It has the smothered sound of snow, the iron tang of ice. North is way beyond and utterly other, opaque, unfathomable, immense. North is a granite city under a pewter sky, dull as lead until the sun shines on it. And north is moss on the shadow side, dense, anxious stands of pine where someone's watching, but no birds will ever sing. Because north is a cold moon, an unwavering star. Don't take north lightly. You must believe that there are dragons still. For north was once transcribed from runes. It is a very different country. This is Hex. Loose threads appear, unravel. My skin prepares to shed itself. All solid thoughts become a clinging fog. I wake now in the wolf grey hours, howl at my notebooks, scratch down runes that only I can understand. I gather roots and bitter herbs, wear midnight clothes, lean on a stick. All certainties are wavering, half balanced on the brink. The waxy pity of the moon has nothing kind to say. I have no answers to the problems of the world. In the mirror, I am turning into her. I have a path to follow.
Fantastic. Well,
And then I just read one from my book, and this is kind of about war and the ghastliness of things. Shift. Our bright world rusts, fine fragments fall. Time tramples, livid, to a pulse of ancient anger, but we tell ourselves, this too will pass. There'll be some shift, some circularity to bring us peace. We watch for messages, stars burn, clouds burst, fresh rain veins down the glass. That split of rainbow light which hurts the eyes, the colours dazzling, jewel-hued. Each time it happens, we're disarmed by joy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sue. Lovely. Steve or Lorraine? Steve Lorraine.
Yeah, hello everyone. What I'd like to do is I'm writing a long poem which is kind of various riffs on the story of Pyramus and Thisbe by Ovid. For those not familiar with the story, it's very like Romeo and Juliet, except there's a wall that separates the two lovers, a part of the story, and there's also a lioness involved. And these are kind of fragmentary riffs on the story and kind of form the end of the poem. So it might seem slightly kind of odd, but hopefully the rhythm will keep all the fragments together. So I'll just give it a go if I can pull it up. Seems to be able to my yes, there we go.
What's going on actually?
Pyramus and Thisbe, a Tale of More, Act 3, with a few lines adapted from the Beatles' 1963, I Saw Her Standing There. In Babylon, where first her queen for state raised walls of brick magnificently great, lived Pyramus and Thisbe, handsome pair. He found no Eastern youth his equal there, and she, of course, the way she always looked was way beyond compare. The wind would blow her jet black hair, a golden skin like his, a colour blending in with sun's attempts to kiss the barren earth and make it grow and bring it back to life before the day began. And when he saw her standing in the sun, his heart exploded. Thunderclaps from heaven failed to match the sound. He held her hand and gave her room to breathe, to be herself, and danced with her in his imagination. Soon acquaintance grew to friendship, ripened into love and marriage. With the passing years, the passion that was there at first began to wane, but friendship lasted well into their middle years, when one of them, I shall not say which one, but then it doesn't matter in the greater scheme of things, began to stray. The separation, I would say, was amicable. Soon the kids were adolescents, happy, swapping mum and dad alternate weekends. Minor problems would occur, they always do, and major problems stayed away until his death, a heart attack, and not a self-inflicted wound made by a sword beside a tree that once was white but soon became forevermore a bloody red. And restless, bored and wanting more, they turned to face the bricks and mortar architectural divider of their ardour, focus for their anger and frustrated longing, wall as great as any wall could be in this our greatest city. Hear our plea. The wall was silent. Undeterred, they tried again. Appalling, ruthless, dreadful wall, indecent, love-denying border. Have a heart and hear our plea. But all was silence once again, and Pyramus and Thisbe saw their flattery and passion fall in battle with an obstacle to their endeavours. Lovers soon departed to respected homes, became again as son and daughter, dull as the proverbial still water in a stagnant ditch, and unaware that destiny, that misanthrope, was waiting for them by the river's edge with slaughter, child of tragic fate and chaos, sitting patiently beneath a canopy of stars and moon. And Babylon, with walls of brick magnificently great, was made of mud and reeds and tar 4,000 years or so ago. In Pyramus and Thisbe's time, a closer neighbourhood was never known, though to the houses yet the roof was one. Suburban semis from the 60s, eat your heart out. Architectural appendix. Poetry is like a building. If it works, it's well proportioned, built of brick or wood or stone, as long as what's inside is right and outside pleasing eagle eyes. It doesn't matter in the grander scheme of things. A part of it could be extended if it pays correct attention to proportion. Possibly it could disturb only if existing lines remained aligned with newer features. As you see from this imperfect explanation, both of them, the poetry and architecture, have to work, and that perhaps is all there is to say on this. 2,000 years and still the story is repeating. Ancient semis from the 2nd century in Babylon will eat your heart out. Thisbe strays and Pyramus is broken-hearted. After school she broke the rules and flirted with an evening cleaner while correcting essay papers. Cold black tea lay on the table. She was willing, he was able. Later on, reflecting on activities, though somewhat brief, they both admitted influence of boredom helped to make it happen. Since he had, with no regrets on either side, or so they said, they carried on respective duties, marking papers, cleaning windows, happy for a moment in the memory of exercises in the absence of unwanted audiences, students, staff, and most of all for Thisbe, hungry lionesses. Brief infatuation passes. After this, two lovers to respective homes return. Alike they suffer, and alike they always burn.
Excellent. Anything else, Steve?
I think that'll do, actually.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to read a couple of poems by Olaf H. Haug, who was a Norwegian poet. And, a poem every day. I want to write a poem every day, every day. That should be easy enough. Browning kept at it, though he rhymed and counted beats with bushy eyebrows. So a poem a day. Something strikes you, something happens, something catches your notice. I get up, it's light now. I've the best intentions, and see the bullfinch rising from the cherry tree where he's stealing my buds. I chopped down the big apple tree by the window. I chopped down the big apple tree by the window. It blocked the view for one thing. The living room was dull in summer. Besides, the wholesalers no longer wanted that kind of apple. I thought of what my father would have said. He liked that apple tree, but still I chopped it down. It's much lighter. I can see over the field or keep an eye on more neighbours. The house is now in full view, shows more of itself. I don't want to admit it, but I miss the apple tree. Things are not the same. He gave good shelter and good shade. The sun peeped through his branches onto the table. And at night I often lay listening to the airy leaves and the apples, none finer in spring with their spicy taste. It hurts each time I see the stump. When it softens, I'll hack it into firewood. And leaf huts and snow houses. There's not much to these verses, only a few words piled up at random. I think, nonetheless, it's fine to make them. Then, for a little while, I have something like a house. I remember leaf huts we built when we were small, to creep in and sit listening to the rain, feel alone in the wilderness, drops on your nose and your hair, or snow houses at Christmas, to creep in and close the hole with a sack, light a candle and stay there on cold evenings. That's Olaf H. Haug. So do we want to break now, or do we want to just go round again as it's...
I'm gonna go, Peter. Thank
Alright.
you.
Yes, so am I.
Yeah. I'll see you next
Okay,
time.
good to see you.
Take care.
Yeah, see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Okay, take care.
Okay,
Keep
bye.
writing. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So
Pete, I'm having problems with my earphones and whatever. It's I don't know what it is. I put it on 100% the volume. Yeah, it says 100%. But
yeah.
I'm hearing you just now as I'm speaking. I can hear you. But if I just remove the earphone, I can hear you just the same.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any difference. So I'm being sort of screwed around by this. I'll have to try and sort it out. Yeah, I'm willing to just hang on. I'm willing to hang on a bit, but it's just like, you know, it's just like as if the whole thing was set at a certain level, which is quite a low level of volume. Everything works, but not the volume. I don't know what's going on.
Have you tightened your earphones? Have you tightened them up? Or?
I don't actually think it's anything to do with the earphones somehow. I mean, how do you tighten them up?
Well, you just do that like a shower top. they might have come loose
like this.
Yeah,
and then do the other one as well.
Seems like a good idea. Ah, there, maybe. Is it moving, that plate?
Well, it's moving, but it's not. Doesn't seem to make any difference.
Okay, then, right, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, like it's like that. So, I mean, when you say tighten up, how do you tighten them up?
Oh, perhaps it will move them around. I don't have earphones, so I can't really answer the question.
I mean, I get the same volume. I can't put the volume up or down. It's just saying whatever I do.
Shouldn't make any difference. Well, unless there are two things not lined up properly in there. But don't ask me. I'm exceeding than mine own knowledge.
Yeah, I'm a technocrat, you know. I'm trying to be modern. This This new year, sort of,
Give it up.
I am learning things, but it's really
Give-
complicated and really.
Give it up.
So do we want to go round again now or have a little break?
Yeah, I'd prefer a little break actually,
Okay.
just in case
Oh.
something happens. Personally.
Rich little.
Right.
Oh, it
Yes.
says recording in progress.
Yes, I just turned it back on.
Oh, right. Oh, Schopenhauer. Oh, Barnsley be my sepulchre. My flesh will soon run dry. Your factory sirens scream with pain. Your windows have gone blind. I see you from a passing train beneath a shroud of dust. You make me think of bygone days and the girl I used to love. She talked throughout the winter nights of singers and their songs. Well, I read books by Schopenhauer. How could I be so wrong? Oh, Schopenhauer's not for her. I found it to my cost, but I can't blame philosophy for everything I lost. Last spring I learnt she'd passed away. An unsent letter said she thought I was too serious when we were warm in bed. Yes, every Jack must have his Jill, as Schopenhauer said. But what man reads philosophy when he is warm in bed? So Barnsley be my sepulchre until the day I die. You make me think of bygone days and the girl I left behind. Yeah, it's just interesting actually to be able to speak and whatever, and everything's working and it's just as it was. I've lost all the poems actually. I've mislaid them. Now I can't. Now if I'm going to put something down, I can't ever find it, put it back again. And I think the volume is, yeah, it's 100% the volume. I could change it if a bit I wanted. Yeah, this is quite loud. If I did this, it'd be small. Am I speaking less loudly now?
No, sounds the same to me.
Oh, exactly the same. Well, now, okay. How about this? Does this sound going really low? Does that sound low? Can you hear me?
We can hear you,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
No, I can't hear you now.
Oh, we got lower.
Turn down, yes, you turned down the
Yeah,
wrong
yeah,
volume.
no, it's working. Yeah, because I can now hear it. I
Yeah.
hear you. Yeah, I'll put it on full actually. Yeah. Oh dear me. Life doesn't get less complex. You know, I just envy people who you see these youngsters and they've got these, you know, iPhones and whatever, and they're handling all sorts of complex things. And if I try to do that, I just blow my brains out. I just,
Yeah.
you know, you can't sort of come back after, like, let's say Rip Van Winkle, sort of waking up and finding everything's changed. And it's like I slept for 20 years when I should have been actually trying to gain these computer abilities and all that sort of thing. But I'm determined to actually carry on and try and solve it all, even as senility tries to overtake me. I have to fight it off.
Trouble is, it doesn't stay still. As soon as you think you've learned how your phone works, they change it. You
Yeah,
get
I
some
mean,
upgrade and everything moves around a bit and
yeah,
changes its
there's a whole,
name.
yeah, there's a whole point
New
of
things appear,
yeah.
and you don't know whether you should use them or not, or what the hell
Yeah,
they're for.
right. Yeah, right. I mean, all of
Yeah.
this together. I mean, I realize it's all of this together with not knowing what it was in the first place. It's like
Yeah.
you're sort of in a so lost in the jungle, being attacked by various animals and whatever
Yeah.
from all
It's like-
sides. It's like
It's a bit like
yeah.
you're always trying to hit a moving target, in that, you know, as soon as you think you've got there, it's changed again.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it's probably like that, but for youngsters, they can adapt to it fairly quickly because they've got this background knowledge of this, that, and the other. And I'm sort of like, yeah, right. And if something goes
Yeah.
wrong, I'm sort of really, oh dear.
I
I
know.
wish I'd have done something those 20 years. I just deliberately didn't have all of these gadgets and stuff like that, and not everything, all the new technology. I just ignored it. And then suddenly it's like,
Yeah. Well, when Charlie and Robin were living with me, they basically, I just let them own the TV because I wasn't really that bothered with it anyway. When they moved out, it's like, how do I use this thing? It's like, you know, the old days, you used to turn it on and,
Yeah.
and you had
Choice of 3 channels.
you had 3 or 4 channels to choose from, and you might have a knob that you had to turn to tune it, but that was it.
My knob's out of tune. It's been out of tune for a long time.
Whereas
Like, so-
now
so,
you
yeah,
have
there we go,
to
there we go.
like push a button and hold it down for 3 seconds before you're allowed to use the remote control. But the button you're holding down is on the remote control, so it's obviously bloody listening to it anyway.
Right, right.
It's like it just ignores everything apart from until you've done the right thing in the right order, and then you're finally allowed to select something.
I had just no idea why I wasn't connected, because I was getting this peeping sound. You are not connected. Your connections. Yeah, I've got it now. It's happening. Beep beep. Yeah, beep. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
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 I mean, it's going beep beep, which means something's not quite right in the connection, and I don't know what it is.
Might be
Really?
might be your Wi-Fi connection is just a bit too slow or too old.
Something like me, actually.
Yeah, it's sometimes worth ringing up the person who you bought the Wi-Fi from and going, my router's misbehaving, send me a new one, and they will.
My router, like
They won't even charge you for it, which is really good.
when you say that again,
Of course, you then got to worry about how to fit it in and
Yeah.
get it working in place.
So start from the beginning, because I missed a bit about the
Oh,
person, the person I bought it from.
Yeah, sometimes if a router's been around, is getting old, it was developed for the internet in olden times when people used a lot less video, and also it just gets old. It stops working so well.
What is a router? What is a router?
It's a thing that allows your computer to talk to the internet. So
Is it like the one that fits into the computer? Like I don't know what you'd call it. This sort of thing at the side. It's a little black thing.
Oh, you got a little dongle thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It goes at the side and that plugs in. I think it's the whole internet connection. It's just that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I pressed it and it went beep 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 beep. Yeah, it's going beep now. So what does that mean when it's going beep like that? No idea.
Idea.
Yeah, I don't know, because I don't know that.
We'd have to
Yeah.
be around there, I think, to look at it.
It says
Yeah.
here, using random hardware addresses, fixing Wi-Fi issues. I don't know if I'm supposed to click on that or just, yeah, you click on it. I'm very sort of reluctant to do that, sort of not knowing what would happen. Yeah.
Yeah, you need a young person to come around and sort you out.
Or no,
And
can
then
I
they'll
actually,
charge you lots of money, and they'll fix you out for a while.
no, I'll take it to the place where I bought it from, my Curry's, and just say, can you sort this sodding stuff out, please? I think that's
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, I mean, do all of this and doing all these other things as well. It's sort of like, right, and you're losing it a little bit. I mean, not see now, but it's going in that direction, sort of like, tottery on the feet and all that sort of stuff. And you're sort of like, not a good thing. Yeah, but I'm determined to carry on somehow or other. Anyway, change the subject if you want. I mean, actually, can I just, because when I take this off, I can't go and speak.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I mean, I can't hear you. I
Yeah.
mean, I have to put this on, so it's just exactly back to normal as it was and should be. And I'm sort of thinking, oh dear, I wish I knew how that happens so I could deal with it again when it does happen again, because it bloody well will. No rest for the wicked or the incompetent.
Right. I'm going to read a poem.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Ted, you remember Mary Balaam, don't you? Ted, you're muted.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yeah. Lovely girl.
Yes, she doesn't have a computer. She does everything by writing. She's got a book out, or a little pamphlet out, which is raising money for her church.
Okay.
She sent me one at Christmas.
All right. That's
I
your
mean,
win.
but it's
She
all
got-
it's all It's all in handwriting.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
cool.
So I'm going to read this one, The Ballet Dancer by
Yeah.
Mary Barlam.
Yes, I remember that.
The gnarled old hands clutched at the fork and spoon, shoveling home the minced up food.
Yes.
Now and again she jabbered indecipherable comments to some unseen companion. She sat out the long hours in her woolly dressing gown, a blanket tucked about her, her warm slippered feet protruding, the thickened bony bosses of her skull showed through her thinning hair. Her body, now unresponsive to her needs, her mind active in some other time, she danced her days away, a sylph pirouetting on points across a far-off stage, unrestrained, released from body and mind. Dizzy heights which once eluded were now surpassed with ease. Her spirit, borne on the wings of familiar orchestral themes, buoyed up by long silent applause. She was serene in her yesteryears.
Love her.
Yes.
Mm.
Did she send any more in?
Well, she's got a whole book here.
Oh, okay then. Well,
Right. Testing.
oh, what about,
Yeah,
yeah,
pardon?
what about Mrs. Ganji or whatever her name in hospital? All right, do not speak English.
No,
Okay,
that's not in here.
no,
Memories.
go on.
I keep pebbles in my pocket, some on ledges, windowsills, others I found on lazy, sunny seaside days, when I scooped with idle fingers, gathering them randomly, drew them up with half-closed eyes to hear them fall. I keep pebbles in my pockets, touch their outlines, think of days spent on shelving shingle, lapped by ebbing tides, long cool swims from south coast beaches, glinting, salty, sunlit seas. I find pebbles in my pockets all the time.
Good on her.
I've just been thinking, actually, if this has been recorded, this going to be worth watching, actually, towards the end.
I think the only person who'll watch it will be George. So I don't know.
Right.
Hmm.
I'm gonna press a button. I hope this doesn't leave. Oh, I think it has done.
No, you're still there.
Oh,
Yeah,
George.
well, yeah, it's sort of like, yeah, I mean, it's like,
I can hear you.
yeah, wait a minute, I just don't know, I'm gonna get, if I click on it, what happens? No, it says,
Got
So
fiddling
do
with
not
it.
click.
yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
I'm clicking, but I don't know, do a double click or something like that for, it's in my taskbar. I've got
Oh,
this
yeah.
on the taskbar. Do I just click on the taskbar and it comes up fully?
I don't know. I don't know what you're clicking on.
Well, I've got a taskbar on Zoom, yeah?
Yeah.
And it's at the bottom.
Yes.
Taskbar, and they've got a little picture, little small picture above it.
Yeah.
And it's like, do I click on this Zoom, and will it then put the Zoom meeting right on the full screen?
I think so.
So I click once.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't actually put it on the full screen. I'll click twice. No, it doesn't. So if I move up there, I've moved it onto the screen now. I can see it fully. But if I press it, I don't know what's going to happen. I'll just press it and see what happens.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's okay.
Right.
Oh, right, yeah. Jesus, it's such fun growing old, yeah.
You've learnt something there, Jim.
Yes.
You've learnt not to or to press that button.
I've forgotten what it was that I didn't ought to have done, actually. So, and also it's a smaller, it's a smaller, if I press if I press this square at the top, it'll make it bigger. It's on the screen, but it's not large. So I'm going to press this, there's a minus and a square and an X. If I press this,
I can't see the words, Nick.
well, I'm going to do something. Is that going to, oh, it's gone full. Yeah.
Right.
You have to bugger around with these computers,
yeah.
and you just get lucky.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Ted, do you want to read the poem?
No, I'd much rather listen to Jim. Right,
Oh.
here we go. from the antiquity. Right, here we go. I can't remember how far I've got away from what I was going to read. Here we go. My evil past. Saturday morning pea shooter recipe. Select only the thickest stalks of dry bracken, break into handy lengths, remove resident insects with thinner stalks or by blowing. Stuff pockets with ripe or hard berries. Have a whip round for a trusted friend to pay his entrance into the cinema and open the side doors for us. Shoot the enemy with salvos of berries. Return shooter to your pocket and crumble. Eat the remaining berries, sit back and smile smugly as the manager confiscates the enemy's tin shooters, their dried peas, and bans them from the cinema. Right, there we go. I hope you're good at editing. Oh, here we go. Grandma Copper. Yeah, one for Georgie like this. All I saw was an old lady, a life peeling away like the paint on the outside privy wall. Her life compressed between the dark corridor and the green scullery door, the zinc bath hanging from the flat-headed nail, the mangled cast iron, its wooden handle too stiff for my small hands to turn. Always sitting, interwoven into the antimacassar and the cushions on her chair, the halo of the mantle bracketing her in gaslight, her grey hair. Just say a few things, she would like it. I remember the words, my aunties, scurry back, clutching my trophies. 1 penny, 2 penny, 3, maybe 4. Yeah. True. Used to frighten the life out of me. I was 3 and she was 90. Pint, please. Standing in the pub lobby was big for a 3-year-old. Waiting for his aunt and uncle. Arrowroot and lemonade was good, but not good enough. I'll have a pint like you. Big boys cry standing in men's shoes. And the long walk home tang sour, and he vowed never to drink beer again. He vowed again many times. And the last one, Jack Kelly, RN, Royal Navy, for those of you who don't know. From my position beneath the kitchen table, the undercloth tassels fringed my auntie's cotton skirts. I imagined them clenched fists, biting their nails as they screamed, "Jack, help us, there's a mouse." I tensed as his navy boots clobbed up the passageway. I'd squeal as he rubbed my face with his stubble and offered me a choice from a full bag of ration sweets. I'd unwrap each tablet of charcoal, testing each one until I found the sweet. He'd taunt me with a face mask of rubber, eyeless and painted like punch. He'd place it, then hide it, return it, replace it with coal. Oh, he'd excite me, delight me till the face disappeared, leaving behind a blob on the chair. This would daunt me and haunt me, and I'd run round the house as I thought he did when he looked for me, Mouse. But I never found it. Jack returned to the sea, a teaser, a wizard, an uncle to me, everything I thought a father might be. There.
Show it again, Nick. I didn't see it. All right.
Yes, well done. I couldn't.
I never know when the camera's going to flip it, so I wrote it both forwards and backwards.
Great.
Nick, I've got poems to round up this evening.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
wind up?
Next month
Yes.
is, of course, NaHaiWriMo, or National Haiku Writing Month.
All right.
Oh, National Haiku Writing Month, yeah.
So I thought I'd dig out some old haiku.
Right.
And these are all based on the Wind Up Bird Chronicle by Haruki Murakami, which is a very strange book. But they're basically sort of characters and moments from the book. And if you read the whole book, they wouldn't make any much more sense than the haiku do anyway. So hopefully they will work as poems. Cat departs alley, leading nowhere, both ends blocked. Sharp sunlight enters. Mechanical sound, unseen bird winding the spring of our personal world. Behind the shuttered house, stone bird lost amongst the weeds, wings spread to fly. Moribund, broken, body enveloped in light, grace lost forevermore. Each day, new suit, new tie around the throat that never speaks. Cat returns nameless. Its loss altered everything. Green shoots grow elsewhere. Corruption wells up, flows from soul to tainted soul. Praise the healer's hand. Riding pillion, hands around her lover's eyes. Death fascinates. Altered watercourse, the deepest well becomes dry emptiness. In the darkest depths, waiting for enlightenment, baseball bat in hand. A circle of blue, all summer is here, within this dry well. Months pass in silence, the glory of life happening to other people.
Very good performance poetry, actually, isn't it, really? I mean, because you can't really do that on a page. Whatever you do, you won't actually get that kind of effect of reading aloud and performing it. Performing, you can just, your mind goes with it. Where if you've got to read it, it's sort of blockage and it's not quite as good. I think it's very, very much an oral sort of thing. It should have, you know, I would imagine when they do have, if they do have haiku meetings, that people do that. They just read it rather than just try and read it off a page. Yeah.
Yeah, I think very often a sort of a series of haiku that fit together in some way,
right.
bounce off each other, can be a lot more powerful than one.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but
three-line poem on its own.
Yeah, it seems actually, I say, better when it's read out aloud than when you're following it dun, 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 like that on the page, where you're not quite with it. It's I say very much an oral sort of thing. Enjoyed that, actually.
Well, it is. As such, it's the end of a Japanese poem, isn't it? A longer one that sort of sums up in a few
It
lines.
can be used that way, yes, definitely. And one of the ways I quite like, one of the ideas that I haven't actually used yet, but I quite like as an idea, is having a prose poem that's, you know, a fairly long prose poem, and then a haiku at the end.
Yeah.
That kind of sums the ideas up or sums the mood up in some way.
Yeah.
I think that's could be quite powerful.
That seems in the a similar concept to the Japanese way of doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there are Japanese forms that are like that.
But I'm brought to understand that the great haiku authorities are inclined to be kind about if there's a syllable short or if there's an extra line. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we can get very hung up on counting syllables, and sometimes the importance brevity. I wrote a little sequence recently. I think none of which have 17 syllables.
Good. Keep up the good.
Yeah, shall I read those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The poet looking at paper, silent. The poet on stage sings. The poet on the bookmark pages speaks. The student by the frozen lake begins. The master's pen by the fireside flickers. Between the lake and the fireside, meandering.
Yeah, it's got a sort of Japanese feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, as soon as you kind of borrow a form, there's a temptation to write in the same vein and the same way, which isn't necessarily a bad temptation.
You never get that in an English poem. What you've just done, in a poem written in an English context, it would just not work.
Yeah.
Or not be accepted or whatever.
It wouldn't be natural. Yeah. Yeah, and you wanted to turn that into a sonnet, it would take a lot more words.
Yes, it would leave out the gaps which help make the poem.
Yeah.
You could have a sonnet with just one word in each line. 14-line sonnet with one word on each. You're going crossways and going this way and that way and all that sort of thing. You can have a permutation of sonnets, 14 lines.
Don't encourage him to start writing them now.
Yeah.
And I'm
Right.
going to go now. So
Right,
yeah,
okay.
it's been really
Right.
interesting, enjoyable.
Okay.
It has.
Yes.
Yeah, well, towards the end when you've got this
Thank you for
sorted
the-
out.
For the entertainment.
Yeah. Okay, right. Thanks a lot.
Take care, Nick.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
Jim.
bye.
Take care.
God bless.
Right, see you next month. Went. So
I had quite fun with layout on those ones.
stay.
Thought I'd
Yeah.
share them on the chat.
Yeah.
Mr. Peter,
Hello, Mr. Ted.
did you get a message from Anna?
A royal command, yes.
Yeah, to attend her festival up in something like that, isn't it?
No, was it Hornsey Library or somewhere up north anyway?
Yeah.
Yes.
February.
Horses up north.
It's not north. It's the other side of the Thames. That's up north.
Yeah, that's an naughty enough. Are you?
That's north enough. I'm going to that. Yeah.
Have you got plans to go? And if you have, are you going to drive?
I'm not sure yet, and no, I'm not going to drive into North London. I'll go by public transport.
Because I've written back, I doubt whether I'll be able to come because my legs won't take me that far.
Right, yeah.
Then at the end of it, as I was giving her my refusal, I thought, you might have an invitation.
Right. Well,
If you were driving out, perhaps I'll punch a lift from you.
okay.
But-
I'll look at how to get there. Well, I wasn't intending to drive, but I'll look at how to get there and come back to you.
But I still haven't had my infusion yet. So if I've had my infusion, I would like to think I would be okay for getting up there.
Yeah.
But
Enthusiastic, I should think.
yeah, I've got plenty. Well, I wish I'd been